Gemini CLI is Google's official command line interface for interacting with Gemini models. If you want fast iteration without opening a browser, scriptable AI inside shell pipelines, local file access, model switching, and easy integration, then this video is for you. Google's Gemini is a free tier and one of the most generous in AI space, giving you up to 1500 requests per day and up to 1 million tokens per minute for most flash models, all without entering any credit card information. Today, we will install Gemini CLI and authenticate it, give it one detailed prompt, and use it to build a full stack task management system. We will also run the application ourselves and verify if the generated code actually works. Let's get started. I'm starting with official Gemini CLI documentation. Link is in the description. Open a terminal and check if Gemini is already installed. If not, then copy the install command and hit enter. It will then take few minutes to install the packages. Check by typing Gemini on completion and it will open the CLI tool for you. One important thing before we get started, launch Gemini from a folder where you want to do your work. Gemini may ask whether you trust the current folder. I'm going to trust it because it's on my own development directory. This permission matters because agent can work with the files and execute commands inside the project. Next, Gemini asks me to authenticate. I will use API key option for this demonstration. You can also use Google sign-in option. Once authentication is complete, I will test the connection by typing hi and we get the response successfully. So Gemini CLI is ready to be used. Now let's create our first program. I'm going to ask Gemini to create a project called TaskFlow AI. It's a task management application with features like create task, view task, complete task, delete and search tasks. A complete prompt is available in the description. The key point here is I'm giving Gemini more than just the application idea. I'm specifying the architecture, API endpoints, front-end requirements, error handling, test, documentation, and safety requirements. I'm also telling Gemini to run the test and fix the failures instead of simply generating the files. I'm explicitly telling it, do not delete unrelated files, do not override an existing project, and do not stop after creating files, and verify the application if it actually works. Let's submit the prompt. Gemini is now analyzing the requirements and creating a plan for it. We can see it working through the project structure before generating the implementation. It then starts creating the backend and frontend files. Gemini is also asking me the permissions as it performs the operations. For this demonstration, I will allow the required operations. Gemini is still working, but I don't want to wait and complete the workflow. I will stop the agent here and inspect what already has been created. This is also a useful way to work with the coding agents. You don't have to blindly wait for the entire process to be completed. Now let's open the terminal from the backend folder. First, we will create an isolated environment for this project, so the project's Python packages don't interfere with other projects. Then activate it. Now install everything Gemini listed in the requirement.txt. Finally, start the FastAPI server. We should now have the backend running on port 8000. Open the second terminal from the frontend folder so that the backend can continue running. Now install the dependencies from npm install. This reads the package.json file and install the packages required by the React application into the nodes module folder. If npm reports vulnerabilities, first inspect them with npm audit rather than immediately using npm audit fix force, because force can introduce breaking the dependency changes. Now start the React development server on port 5173. I will open that in the browser and now we have a complete application running. At this point, if you have more errors, you can ask Gemini to fix those errors for you. Let's test the application by adding new task. We can see a new task is added successfully. We can now also edit the task. I can complete the task and move it to the complete tab. Here we can see many cosmetic issues, but application is working fine. You can use Gemini to refine it more. The important lesson here isn't simply that Gemini can generate a code. The interesting part is the workflow. We give Gemini a high level software requirement. It translates that into a project structure, implementation, test, and documentation. But we still need to review the results. An AI coding agent can write a lot of code very quickly, but we still need to verify architecture, security, dependencies, tests, and application behavior. The developer is still responsible for the final result. That's all from me. See you in the next one.